What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all well. Northlane have a new song out, which is in collaboration with a game called Fretless, The Wrath of Riffson. So I'm guessing they reached out to Northlane and were like, hey, we have a game. Would you like to be a part of the OST? Obviously they said yes. So we have a track called Welcome to the Industry, which is going to be from the original soundtrack of this game, Fretless, The Wrath of Riffson. Again, not too interested in the game. I'm here for the goddamn music. I want new Northlane music because I still have a slight sour taste in my mouth after the Mirror's Edge EP was just so short. The singles were all absolutely amazing, and then when the album dropped, or the EP dropped, we got like 2 new songs. If you want to include Mirror's Edge, which is the intro, we technically got 3. But the 2 like non-singles just didn't really live up to the hype, so felt a little bit deflated after that EP, even though I do really love all the singles that dropped. It's a solid EP, but just wanted a bit more. So I guess my wish has been answered. Another track to listen to from Northlane, one of my favorite metalcore bands. Without any further ado, let's get into it, lads. Leave a like in the video, and let's go. Fretless, The Wrath of Riffson. So that's the game name. There's Marcus's screams. It's a Northlane track. Okay. It's like a fucking social media job interview. What's going on? Marcus selling himself here? Pre-chorus. What's the chorus? Is it going to be big? Anthemic? Oh, very reminiscent of Talking Heads here. It's so uncharacteristically Northlane with the lyrics. It's like, where's this arrogance coming from, Marcus? Well, I get it's obviously for the game. Okay. I mean, they didn't sacrifice that Northlane sound in the slightest. It still sounds very Northlane. It's just the lyrics are a little bit different to what I'd be used to. But that's fine. Okay, that was Northlane. Welcome to the industry from Fretless, The Wrath of Riffson, the original game soundtrack. Okay, so I've just come off the back of obviously checking out the song for the first time, and I just watched the interview that John and Marcus of the band did with the game studio or whatever it is. I haven't looked too deep into the game. It looks like a two-dimensional game, like from a side-on view, one of these games. I kind of thought it was going to be a first-person shooter based on how it sounded, but maybe I'll play it at some point. I don't know. But I mean, overall thoughts specifically on the music itself. I mean, it's obviously an OST. There's going to be certain parameters and guidelines that they are to follow, and it was really interesting to listen to the song before checking out that interview, because a lot of the things that were very obvious to me from a lyrical standpoint were one that like they have like moments in it that are very memorable in terms of the lyrics. Now, I don't necessarily love the lyrics, and this is something that I'll touch on because John and Marcus in particular mentioned that the lyrics that they were given as a brief, I'm guessing, were not necessarily something that they wanted to write about. I don't think they were given the lyrics, but I think they were given that brief, which was supposed to be heavy, menacing, but also lighthearted, which is, I guess, exactly how I was seeing it when I was listening to it. It was kind of like tongue-in-cheek lyrics, a little bit arrogant, which was, again, weird for me to hear Northlane in that vein. But I guess they're playing this character of like an evil villain in a game, so it makes sense. But I think that was like the most standout thing for me, and the most memorable thing about the track for me was that it was so like uncharacteristically Northlane, the way they were talking, or the way Marcus was like, you know, talking about the subject. The instrumentals, the synths, the guitars and everything were very similar. The mix, the production elements, very similar to what we've just recently heard off of Mirror's Edge. So I wasn't like blown away by that side of thing. Obviously, I'm not going to be expecting a mind-blowing song to be released as an OST. Like, imagine they just released like the best song that could have been on Mirror's Edge for a game OST that most people probably won't even hear unless they're following the game or like really, really on top of Northlane stuff. So that would have been disappointing. So in a way, I'm happy that it's not like the best song ever, but it would have been nice to have something that was like maybe a big chorus or something that I can like repeat. I don't think I'll be repeating this much, but it was really interesting to hear like how it was quite tame. But yeah, it also was interesting to hear that John mentioned that they had to make different variations of the soundtrack in the interview. Basically the game devs or whatever, or whoever's involved in the soundtrack and the OST, they got onto him and were like, yeah, will you make like different versions of this and slow it down? So to me, that kind of, it sounds like the game will play out like something like Doom, Fear, Trepang. I was actually just playing Trepang 2 on stream last night, so it's very fresh in my mind having a game that like interacts the user with the soundtrack. So obviously if you guys have played Doom before, maybe a more popular example, when you are like fighting with someone or when you're in the middle of a boss fight, the rhythm guitars and the gent and everything comes back in. It's a very like a metal orientated game, which just gets the blood pumping and makes the experience of gaming a little bit more entertaining and a little bit more fun and interactive, because you are like directly controlling the environment and the soundtrack. So that is really, really fun, and it was really, really cool in Trepang as well. So I guess it's that kind of game where, you know, that's why they were asked to do the slow down part. So ultimately, as a song, I'm not like too sold in it. Obviously there's better Northlane tracks for me for sure. They obviously were sticking to some parameters. I think it was pretty loose, but obviously they had to follow like the guideline of the brief being like heavy, menacing, but also lighthearted, which is what they were saying was the hardest part, was to try and make it lighthearted as well, because Northlane's lyrics are always very, very dark and depressing and like, you know, very angsty, whereas this had that tongue-in-cheek element, which I think was the hardest part for me to get into, because it was like, who is this band, you know? But ultimately, look, Northlane collecting the bag. I'm assuming they got paid for this. I'm assuming that's how that works. But fair play to them, more power to them, man. I mean, they're doing well. I fucking love the band, one of my favorite metalcore bands. So yeah, lads, let me know what you think of this in the comments. Would this make you interested in getting the game? I don't know if it's enough to like make me go, oh shit, I need to try this game out, but ultimately just here for Northlane and more music. So maybe I'll spin this a few more times and see if it grows on me. But yeah, they're my thoughts, lads. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm signing out. Look after yourselves. Cheers.